You're listening to The Creative Impostor. I'm multimodal media strategist, podcast producer, educator, and your host, Andrea Klunder. I'm here to support you, the creative leader who wants to make a positive cultural impact. And sometimes the work is hard. Or maybe the work is rewarding, but the context is hard. And we need to reset our nervous system, rediscover joy and human connection, and remember that progress is still happening, even when it feels like society is tumbling backward. This week's episode is a new segment for our Creativity and Media as Resistance series called 3 Things for Your Creative Resistance Toolkit. You can find links, of course, to the resources mentioned in the show notes in this episode's description in your listening app and at thecreativeimpostor.com, as well as our YouTube channel, LinkedIn profile, and Instagram profile, where we are streaming new conversations on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Central. This week, I'll be speaking with Jenny Wetter, producer and host of Repro's Fight Back, because our current U.S. administration hates the thought of reproductive rights for the humans who bear the primary biological burden of reproduction. But Jenny is both delightful and insightful, so I am looking forward to that conversation. Then in August, we have a shifty schedule. I'll be hosting live streams on August 14th and 28th, but the 7th and 21st will be off unless I decide to pop in for something impromptu due to production travel for our clients at the Santa Fe Opera on their podcast, Key Change, workshopping a new opera as it's being written and composed, and Podcast Movement, a huge conference for all things podcasty. I am, however, currently booking guests for this series of The Creative Impostor for September and October. So if you or someone you know is using their creativity and or media platform as resistance to the current administration's agenda, I'd love to hear about it. Send an email to andrea@thecreativeimpostor.com or DM me on LinkedIn. I also want to take a moment to shout out the team at Libsyn, our favorite podcast hosting platform, for featuring the Creative Impostor Studios in a recent blog post about podcasting workflows for independent creators working with an editor and their new multi-user account feature. I'll link to the blog post in the show notes, and if you are thinking of starting your own podcast but haven't chosen your media host, grab our promo code ENVY, ENVY, to get your first month of Libsyn hosting for free. And we will earn a little thank you check for the referral. That code again is ENVY, or you can go to thecreativeimpostor.com/envy if that's easier. And if you are already podcasting but feeling like it's time for a content glow up, I have a new offer launching this fall. There are a limited number of spots available between September and November 2025 at an introductory rate. And then, based on feedback, we'll see if we continue this program in the future. The program is called Find Your Light, and it's a creative content ecosystem audit for cultural impact. In the past, I've done podcast audits where I review your content, your cover art, your sound quality, your show notes, your call to action, and help you improve your overall show strategy. But in this current media and marketing landscape, it's not enough to look at just one segment of your messaging. It's more efficient and effective to look at how your podcast plays within the content for your entire brand. And I'm thinking of it like an ecosystem. I know, very 7th grade science project, but we'll do this in a way that frees you and your team, if you have one, from the monotony of the content hamster wheel. Can you hear it squeaking? And helps you find the optimal positioning for growth. Can you see that little green plant that you grew from a seedling sitting in the window? Moving from the science lab to the drama club, Find Your Light is a theater phrase that refers to how, during a show, certain parts of the stage may be lit and some may be in shadow. In fact, there may even be a specific spotlight with the rest of the stage in darkness. As the performer, you need to be aware of your positioning. If you are delivering the most perfectly rehearsed Shakespearean soliloquy, but you're in the wrong place on stage, the impact will be lost because your audience can't see you. Likewise, if you're just using one channel for your content strategy, your potential audiences on the other channels and platforms are missing out. Yet, we don't want you running laps around the ecosystem trying to create something new for each audience. And that's why you need someone like me to help you see the opportunities, clarify the messaging, and co-create a sustainable plan for visibility. To get on my waitlist for Find Your Light, go to thecreativeimpostor.com/Find Your Light, and you'll be the first to hear the details and be offered a spot on my fall calendar. Again, that's thecreativeimpostor.com/Find Your Light. Okay, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. 3 things for your creative resistance toolkit, Volume 1. All right, I am coming to you from Chicago in the middle of the afternoon, yes, even though it looks like nighttime spooky storytelling. At least to me, that's what it looks like on camera, because all of a sudden, the sky turned dark and thunder and lightning began and rain began. So we're in the beginning of what's probably going to be a really cool thunderstorm, which is great. I love summer thunderstorms. I am here solo today on this episode with an idea that I had in the midst of this series on creativity and media as resistance. We've been having some really wonderful conversations here, and bit.ly/creativity as resistance will take you to my YouTube playlist, which features all of the recordings of our past live streams in this series, as well as the upcoming live streams that are scheduled. So you will be able to see what is coming up. You will be able to watch any of the episodes that you missed. Now, if you are more of an audio person like I am, I don't really watch a lot on YouTube except if I need to know how to fix something in my car or do a thing with the grout in my bathroom. That's what I use YouTube for almost exclusively. But if you are more of an audio person like me, you can also find lightly edited versions of the past conversations that we've had in this series in the Creative Impostor podcast feed on your favorite podcast app. We've been having so many wide-ranging conversations that have really been inspiring me. I don't know if they've been inspiring you as well, but if they have, yay, I'm doing my job and what I set out to do. But I also started this series for myself because I was feeling really overwhelmed at the beginning of this year, a little bit defeated, and not really sure what direction to go with the way things are going in the United States at this moment. And it was affecting me creatively. And I was like, I need to talk to people who are still doing the work, who are still putting good stuff out there, who are still contributing to society with the values and in the way that I would like to see our society moving forward. So I've gotten a lot of ideas. I've gotten a lot of inspiration. I've gotten a lot of fresh perspectives, reality checks even. And something that came up for me as I've been doing this series is the idea to share things that are helping me besides these conversations. So things that I'm watching, reading, listening to, attending, following, etc., and to share some of those in sort of a quick format with you as tools that you can use as you continue on in your creative life and work. So this is volume 1, and hopefully we'll have some future volumes. Hopefully it won't just be a 1-volume segment of this series. All right, so creativity and media as resistance. 3 things for your creativity as resistance toolkit. I am going to start with a film. Once upon a time, long ago, I did a thing which may not surprise any of you, I did a thing while I was still full-time employed, which was that I co-founded a nonprofit organization in Chicago called Chicago Scriptworks. I was friends with a bunch of indie and aspiring filmmakers and had met some really cool individuals in a screenwriting class at Columbia College in their continuing ed program. And one thing that we saw missing for screenwriters is that very often you're writing sort of solo and creating this story, creating this script for a film, or that what you hope will be a film. But filmmaking is really a collaborative act. And so sometimes what's on the page doesn't always directly translate to what the collaboration is going to look like when multiple people are working on it. So we had an idea to find screenwriters who had good ideas, good stories, good script writing skills, pair them with a local director, and cast their film with local Chicago actors, rent a space, a performance space, and do a staged reading or an unstaged reading of their screenplay so that they could hear how the dialogue flowed, so that they could see audience reactions to things that were happening in their script, so that they could see how a director might shape their vision. And that was Chicago Scriptworks. I co-founded that organization with Vera Brooks. And together we just met so many incredible people. A lot of those people I am still friends with to this day. And one person that I met during Chicago Scriptworks was a lawyer full-time in Chicago who was doing some acting as like a side gig and developing her acting career. That person's name is Fawzia Mirza. Fawzia Mirza is a Pakistani American individual who now, in this moment, has an award-winning feature film that is out on its theatrical run. It is called The Queen of My Dreams. The website is thequeenofmydreams.com. You can learn more about the film, see the trailer, and also see upcoming screenings that are available. In this moment, I am streaming this on July 24th. I know that there are a few upcoming screenings in Los Angeles that are happening oh so soon on the 26th and 28th in LA of July. And if you are listening to this after those dates, or if you are not in LA, then you can always check the website to see if there are upcoming screenings. And I hope that there are so that you can check it out. Even if not, I think that just knowing that this film exists and learning more about it can be something to put into your creativity as resistance toolkit. So The Queen of My Dreams, written and directed by Fawzia Mirza, stars Amrit Kaur, who you may recognize from The Sex Lives of College Girls, as Azra, a queer South Asian grad student who is at odds with her conservative mother, played by Nimra Bucha from Polite Society. Following a family tragedy in Pakistan, Azra is launched into a Bollywood-inspired journey through memories, real and imagined, from her mother's youth in 1969 Karachi to her own coming of age in rural Canada. The logline is, connected through a shared love of Bollywood, a distant mother and daughter come of age in two different eras. So I had the opportunity to see this film in its Chicago premiere at the Music Box Theater, and it was a packed house. It was so full of a diverse audience of people, and Fawzia was there in person, Amrit was there in person, and her co-star was also there. Editor's note, the actor's name is Hamza Haq. And they had a discussion Q&A panel. I went with my friend Karen, who also I know from the Chicago Scriptworks days and who knows Fawzia as well from way back when she was an aspiring actress part-time. And I was so inspired by this film because, first of all, on a personal note, watching somebody's career progression, that you saw them and you saw their talent and you recognized this person's talent and this person's gift in the early days of them just getting started, just trying to figure out the nonprofit, non-equity theater scene in Chicago. You saw their identity evolve. You saw their storytelling skills evolve, and watched the concept for this film has sort of gone through many evolutions. She performed a version of it as a one-woman show in a theater. She did a short film that touches on these same themes that are in this feature film. And man, the film industry is so difficult to become successful in. And then when you have intersecting marginalized identities, like being South Asian from Pakistan, like being a queer person, like the odds are ever stacked against you. And in this time of the current American administration, the odds are super stacked against you. Like there's so much happening that is against everything that is in this film. And this film is so beautiful. That's a terrible word. It's so bland. This film is vibrant. This film is joyful. This film is vulnerable. It's gentle in a way. It's very loving. And so watching this film was like a gift, both in the fact that I know Fawzia from way back when, and I'm just like moved to tears about how proud I am of her. When I saw her on stage, I was like starting to get a little teary-eyed because you can just tell she's living her dream and telling the story that she wants to tell and sharing her heart and sharing a vision for what the world could be. Aside from the personal side of it, also just what it means that this film was able to be made. I don't know that this film would have been able to be made. God, when would I have first met her? I would have been in my 20s. So like 20 years ago, I don't think that this film could have been made. I don't think that this film would have had the audience that it had. I'm sure this will eventually be available on some streaming service, but I don't know which one. Very oftentimes I get bored with films because I can kind of predict where they're going. I kind of know what the next turn is or what's going to happen or this. I did not know where this film was going while I was watching it. So it was a very fun ride. And it just inspired me that something like this could exist in this current society, in this time. So that is thing number one, The Queen of My Dreams, a queer South Asian film about love, relationships, family, coming of age. It's beautiful. And I'm so proud of you, Fawzia. This is just such an incredible film. Thank you for sharing this gift with all of us. Also, you can find out more about the film and stay up to date on Instagram by following The Queen of My Dreams movie on Instagram. That's another good place to stay in the know. Number two thing for your creativity as resistance toolkit is a podcast that you can enjoy anytime from anywhere, created by another lovely individual here in Chicago. This is a very Chicago-centered episode, but this is something you can take part in from anywhere. And this is a series within a podcast. So much like this is a series within the Creative Impostor podcast, my good friend Davin Youngs, who is a singer, a sound healer, a vocal coach, another very talented individual who I actually met way back when I was in college. We met at an summer opera training institute. Neither of us currently sing opera, but that's how we met. And I've worked with Davin on voice coaching and songwriting coaching and been to his sound healing events called The Reset, which he performs all over the world now. Internationally, The Reset has been happening. And Davin has a knack for doing things to help reset your nervous system. So if you are feeling anxious, if you're feeling on edge, if you're feeling kind of manic, go to Davin's website and find out more about things that you can do. You can find it at davinyoungs.com/sit-club. davinyoungs.com/sit-club. So Sit Club is the name of the podcast. So you can certainly search for Sit Club with Davin Youngs in your favorite podcast app. And Davin has been doing a series of meditations. So Sit Club is basically guided meditations. And They're always good. But right now, he has been doing a series called What to Do When It Seems Like the World's on Fire. Couldn't be more appropriate for the moment. What to do when it seems like the world's on fire. And so far, there are 3 episodes in that series. I don't know if there will be more. These meditation episodes, a meditation episode, that sounds funny. Sorry, I'm having a meditation episode. Anyways, they are expanding gratitude, cultivating safety, and practicing peace. And I just love what Davin is doing. I love the way that he guides meditations because he doesn't have a, fakey fake meditation. Now we're going to meditate. Close your eyes kind of voice. He just has a naturally very resonant, beautiful voice. Even though I have been a meditation teacher in a past life, and I have attended a ton of meditation experiences and worked with different teachers, I often find guided meditations to be difficult because of corny music or corny voice affectation. Meditation voice affectation in your meditation episode. How's that? But Davin just has a really natural way of delivering these meditations, and I love this series. So again, find Sit Club with Davin Youngs in your favorite podcast listening app and give it a try. Also, check out his calendar for the Reset, davinyoungs.com/events, and you can see upcoming Reset events that you can sign up to attend. And again, though Davin is based in Chicago, you can find the Reset coming up in Vienna, Virginia, Tampa, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Madison, Wisconsin. Again, the Reset is this really cool sound healing experience where you show up in a cool venue, you lay down, and then he sings to you and plays soothing electronic rhythms and crystal bowls and whatever else sound-making things to reset your nervous system. And it's another thing that he just had an idea for it and kind of experimented and didn't really know if people would be into it and started doing it and did a few small events here in Chicago. For a long time, he was putting in the work on developing this. And now he's getting invitations to perform all over the United States and, in fact, even internationally. It's just another thing where I'm, having met Davin way back in the opera days of college and then seeing what he's doing now, I'm so, so proud and so inspired by what he's putting out there in the world. So definitely check out Sit Club and the Reset with Davin Youngs. And then let's go ahead and wrap this up with our third thing for your creativity as resistance toolkit. And this is something that if you're following this series, you may have already heard about this with my guest, Mary Doctor. And this is an event called Show and Tell for Grownups. And you can learn more about Show and Tell for Grownups at tellmewhyshow.com. If you didn't get a chance to watch our live stream, go back and check out the replay in the YouTube playlist, or you can sit tight and that episode will be available in the Creative Impostor podcast feed soon. Show and Tell for Grownups is a local event here in Chicago for now. She would like to expand to other locations. But for now, if you are in Chicago, if you're visiting Chicago, she hosts several of these throughout the month at various locations. And it is a social event whereby you get to watch 5-minute presentations from people like me, coming up August 12th. 5-minute presentations about something that that person is really passionate about. It may or may not be what they do professionally. It may or may not be something they're an expert about. It's just something that they're really passionate about. And her brand is Tell Me Why It's Cool. And the whole premise behind it is, I think this thing is really cool and I want to share it with you. And here's why. It is infectious. I went to an event and we learned about so many different topics. There was even a presentation about baseball cards. I do not care about baseball cards at all. I am not interested in baseball. I'm not interested in baseball cards. But the person who was talking about it was so passionate about it and he had great stories that I was fascinated to watch him talk about the baseball cards. So why is this part of your creativity as resistance toolkit? Because this event is reconnecting us with what it means to be human and what it means to be social without having to deal with problems in that moment. It is a bubble for connection, for inspiration, for joy, and for just being ourselves. We're not networking. We're not trying to sell a thing. We're not trying to find a date. We're not trying to do anything except have fun together in a supportive environment. So you can learn more about Tell Me Why Show by listening to that episode with Mary Doctor. She can explain it so much better than I can. But I did want to let you know that coming up on Tuesday, August 12th, I will be one of the featured presenters at a place called Snakes and Lattes in the Bucktown neighborhood. Snakesandlattes.com is where you can find out more about the venue. Definitely want to get tickets because these shows do have a tendency, they're small, intimate events. So if you're in Chicago and you want to check it out, please come August 12th. If you can't make it August 12th, you can go to any of the other ones as well. And you can find the calendar of upcoming events again at tellmewhyshow.com and see where Show and Tell for Grownups is happening. Oh, do you want to know what my topic is? Okay. Using sound design to transport us to new worlds. Or what's the problem with crickets? So it is related to what I do. It's a presentation about sound design. It's a story that I thought was really funny, and you can hear it when you come August 12th. So just to recap, the 3 things for your Creativity as Resistance Toolkit, Volume 1 is The Queen of My Dreams, written and directed by Fawzia Mirza, hopefully coming to a theater near you or a streaming service near you. Sit Club podcast with Davin Youngs, particularly What to Do When It Seems Like the World's on Fire, available anywhere you get fine podcasts. And number 3, Show and Tell for Grownups at tellmewhyitscoolshow.com in Chicago if you live here or if you're just in town for vacation. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Again, I am looking for more guests for the fall, for September and October, who want to come onto this series of the Creative Impostor podcast, Creativity and Media as Resistance. So if you know someone who you see who is showing up creatively, who is putting the work in to create a more fair, equitable, inclusive, kind, diverse world, please send me a link to what they're doing, introduce me. I would love to talk to them for this series and find out what they're up to. If you have missed any of the previous episodes, I encourage you to go back and check the live stream replays at bit.ly/creativityasresistance or listen to the edited versions in your favorite podcast app. I thank you so much for showing up, for being a part of this series, and I will see you soon. The Creative Impostor is hosted, produced, and edited by me, Andrea Klunder. Our theme music is by Jovia Armstrong. Please find resources and links mentioned in our show notes in the episode description in your app. To learn more about how the Creative Impostor Studios can help you with your audio-forward content strategy or production, visit thecreativeimpostor.com. This week, I'm asking you, what's in your creative resistance toolkit? Really, email me. I want to know.